Take it at 62, and you lock in the smallest check you'll ever get for the rest of your life. Wait, and it just keeps climbing year after year, all the way to 70. Here's the one idea that quietly decides more retirement income than almost any investment you'll ever pick. With Social Security, when you start matters as much as how much you saved. Start at 62, and your monthly check is cut by about 30% permanently. Wait until 70, and it's roughly 77% bigger, guaranteed, and it climbs with inflation every year after. Same person, same work history. The only thing that changed was the date you signed up. This one keeps people up at night, and for good reason. For most Americans, Social Security isn't pocket money. It's the floor the whole retirement stands on. And the choice of when to switch it on is close to permanent. You get one real shot at it. The checks last as long as you do, and there's no clean do-over. So two fears pull in opposite directions. Claim early, and a quiet voice asks, "Am I leaving a fortune on the table by not waiting?" Wait, and a louder voice asks, "What if I hold off and don't live long enough to enjoy a dime of it?" That second fear is why about 1 in 4 people grab the smallest possible check the very first year they can, at 62. It feels safe. But feeling safe and being right aren't always the same number. So let's put the actual numbers on the table. There are 3 ages that matter here, so let's make them concrete. Say your full benefit works out to $2,000 a month. That full amount is set at what's called your full retirement age, and for anyone born in 1960 or later, that's 67. So 67 is your baseline, $2,000. Now, you can start as early as 62. But start there, and that check is trimmed to about $1,400, roughly 30% less, locked in for the rest of your life. Or you can do the opposite and wait. For every year you delay past your full retirement age, the government adds about 8%, right up until 70. Hold out all the way to 70, and that same benefit grows to about $2,480 a month. So there's your spread. About $1,400 a month at 62, $2,000 at 67, and roughly $2,480 at 70. Same worker. One decision. That's the whole map. 62 smaller, 67 full, 70 the most. And if you're watching from outside the States, stay with me. You have your own version of this same decision. If you'd rather understand a decision like this than just guess at it, subscribe, and we'll keep turning the money questions that scare people into plain math. Because 2 real questions are still hanging. First, that 8% a year for waiting. How good a deal is that, actually? And second, is there an age where waiting stops paying off? A point where claiming early quietly wins? The answers come straight from the Social Security Administration's own numbers, and they're simpler than the whole thing feels. Now the part that does the quiet heavy lifting. That 8% you pick up for each year you wait isn't a maybe. It isn't a hopeful average like the stock market. It's set in law, it's paid for life, and it climbs with inflation every single year after. So sit with what that actually is. Every year you wait past your full retirement age, your check grows about 8% guaranteed for life, and it keeps up with inflation. There is nowhere else on earth you can buy a raise like that. Go price it out. To buy that same deal from an insurance company, A payout that large, guaranteed, and inflation protected would cost a small fortune, if you could even find it for sale. As Morgan Housel puts it in The Psychology of Money, a guaranteed 8% is extraordinarily rare. Waiting to claim is one of the only places an ordinary person can just reach out and take it. So is there ever a reason not to wait? There is, and it comes down to one number the Social Security Administration's own math points to: the break-even age. It works like this. Claim early and you collect more checks, but each one is smaller. Wait, and you collect fewer checks, but each one is bigger. For a while, the early claimer is ahead. They've been cashing checks for years. But the bigger checks slowly catch up, and somewhere around age 80, they cross. Live past 80 and waiting comes out ahead, more money in total, and a bigger check for the rest of your life. Die before 80 and claiming early won. Now here's the thing worth sitting with. A healthy 65-year-old today has a very good chance of reaching 85 or beyond. And for a married couple, the odds that at least one of them gets there are higher still. One quick note for anyone outside the United States: the ages here are American, but the lesson isn't. Most countries build the same deal into their public pensions: a guaranteed bump for waiting that beats trying to time the market or guess your own lifespan. Now the honest part, because anyone who tells you to just always wait is skipping over your actual life. Waiting is the strong default, but it's not automatic, and three things can flip it. First, your health. If you're in poor health, or long life just doesn't run in your family, claiming early can be exactly right. The break-even math only rewards waiting if you're around to collect. Second, whether you need the money now. If claiming at 62 is what lets you finally leave a job that's grinding you down, that peace can be worth more than a bigger check years later. And if you keep working while you claim early, part of your benefit can be temporarily held back. One more reason the timing is personal. Third, being married changes the math. Spousal and survivor benefits can make it smart for one partner to claim early and the other to wait. And to be clear, this is education, not advice for your exact situation. So treat this as the start of the conversation, and if the stakes are high, talk to someone who's paid to act in your interest. There's a reframe that makes this whole decision calmer. Waiting to claim isn't a bet that you'll live forever, and it isn't about squeezing the last dollar out of the government. It's insurance against the one retirement risk that actually terrifies people, which is living a long life and slowly running low on money. Think about which mistake you'd rather make. Wait too long and die early, and yes, you left some money on the table, but you won't be around to mind, and you were never short a dollar while you lived. Claim too early and then live a long, long time, and you spend your last decades pinched, watching a smaller check lose ground to inflation. One of those regrets you'd feel every single month. The other you never feel at all. Waiting just quietly stacks the odds toward the version of old age nobody's afraid of. Let me put the whole thing in one breath. You can start Social Security at 62, but you lock in the smallest check you'll ever get. About 30% less, for life. Every year you wait past your full age adds. Roughly 8%, guaranteed and inflation adjusted, up to age 70, where the check lands. About 77% bigger than the early one. The math flips around. Age 80, live past it, and patience wins. So here's one thing you can do today. Go to the Social Security website, that's ISA.gov, open your own account, and look at your three numbers side by side. What you'd get at 62, at your full age, and at 70. Don't decide anything right now. Just see the real spread on your own benefit, because a decision this big should start with your actual numbers, not a rule of thumb. Subscribe if you want the money decisions that scare people turned into plain arithmetic you can run yourself. Calm investors. Build wealth with patience, not panic.